mashup, spooky mashup from Glee. That was Thriller / Heads Will Roll. Oh, I'll get it in a sec. Which is off Glee. And I was just saying to Christine that I actually used to be really afraid of Thriller.
And it started quite an interesting conversation about phobias.
Yes, which is...
which was convenient.
We welcome to the studio Charlotte Hinksman.
Hello.
Hello, Charlotte.
Who was quite amused by our various phobias.
Maybe we could talk about phobias next month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
Because I was saying how, like, my thing with Thriller, actually, it's like particular scenes. It's like, if you remember the one where it's towards the end of the video clip and all the zombies were, like, punching their hands through, and I used to get nightmare-y about hands coming through and grabbing me. And just the zombies, like, and staring, and they used to freak me out. Anytime I would hear that start music, of Thriller, I would start to get a cold sweat.
Yeah,
but not anymore.
It's a little bit like Jaws, like Jaws, cause a lot of phobias for people. Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas mine's
scary music.
My phobia is kind of a bit more serious than that sort of thing.
It's life-threatening.
It is.
Christine has a phobia of
two things.
Well, biting two different things. The first is apples, and that's not so bad, but peaches, the fleshy peach, I don't even want to think. Let's talk about something else.
Yeah, okay, let's talk about something else.
Christine's having a physiological response just by thinking about it, which is how phobias work, which is very interesting.
So maybe we can talk about phobias next time you're here.
Yeah, we should.
Anyway,
I'd love to.
What are we talking about today, Charlotte?
Well, let's change track a little bit.
Yeah.
So I would like to start by asking you some questions,
we
if
love
I may.
questions.
Oh, yeah, I like questions.
Yeah. So you're both in a romantic relationship. You're both
Christine
attached.
just had a 1 year anniversary.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, it's on Friday night.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. So, yes.
So, but this doesn't just apply to romantic relationships, but it's kind of a good place to start thinking about it. So my questions to you are, have you ever misinterpreted a text or an email?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Like, have you ever thought it meant something that it wasn't intended to mean?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. And have you...
On a regular basis.
Right. And has that ever escalated into some kind of misunderstanding or dispute or conflict?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I normally assume that... No. Depends what kind of headspace I'm in.
Well, I'll admit to it that it's happened to me.
Yeah.
I think it happens to
I'm sure it has happened to me. Yeah.
So why do you think it happens? What are your theories about why we can misinterpret that kind of
Well, I suppose it'd be because, just because I say ABC doesn't mean that means the same thing for you.
Yes.
I don't know if there's a technical term for that.
Yeah.
I think a big
There
thing
is. I'll come to that in a minute. Yeah.
Written communication is you don't get any of the non-written
tone,
cues.
yeah.
There's no
Yes.
verbal cues. There's no body language. So something said sarcastically or jokingly comes across serious or whatever.
Yeah. So I reckon you're onto it. So there's kind of 3 areas of problems. The first one, like with kind of modern communication, like texts and emails and things like Facebook, like social networking stuff, is you don't get to really kind of understand the sentiment in which it was said because you miss that visual stuff and you kind of miss tone of voice as well. So that kind of visual auditory stuff like body language, tone of voice is missing. So what that does is it kind of leaves a bigger gap in terms of what is actually written and what you think it means. And so the second problem is kind of like how we attribute meaning to stuff that we kind of perceive, And that's very much based on stuff that's happened to us from the past.
Right.
So the technical word that you were looking for is what we would call an NLP a filter.